Audio is turned on. It's noontime now. Yep, just hit the noon. So I think we're going. We're live. And the stream is popping up behind me, going live. So hey, this is Dave. This is my live stream. If you haven't seen it before, I've been doing this for about a year now, just streaming about stuff. Today, I am capturing the goal planning process of. It's a little bit distracting to see myself behind me. I am streaming the planning process of creating my Groundhog Day resolution goals, which is this is the 12th year of doing them. So I'm kind of excited. I was not sure how I was going to set up my goals this year. I've been feeling like, man, I've been doing these for 11 years and I still haven't made any progress on the goals I set in year one in 2007. But having taken the time to review all of them yesterday in this sort of marathon 6.5 hour session, broken into two parts, I saw some patterns that were more positive. Um, and I had made the connection also that this revisiting the same goal over and over again is not unlike the theme of the Groundhog Day movie. And so that actually made me feel a little better. So today I'm going to do the planning. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. Right now I'm feeling pretty positive that good things will happen, but who knows? Maybe clarity will not strike me in the way that I want. Let's move this cart into place. It's a little bit disconcerting to see the big TV there monitoring the stream. Um, but I guess it's okay. I should turn it off. Actually, I don't actually need to be monitoring on this thing. Let me change that. We turn on the chat so we can see what's going on. If anyone has any questions, do feel free to type into the YouTube chat window there. If as soon as I remember how to use my TV, I will turn this off. I guess. What should I switch this to? Is the Mac Mini actually on? No? Okay, that is on. That helps balance out the light levels in the room because these cameras that I'm using, these are just cheap Logitech C920s. They don't have an ability to control the exposure on it. So if something's really bright, it dims down. If everything is very dark, it lightens up. Unfortunately, it can't really tell what the exposure should be. It should be exposing on my face, but there's no center exposure on it because it's junk. I think the PC version actually you can get exposure control panel and you can lock it down, but on the Mac, which I'm streaming from, it doesn't. You can't do it that way. But anyway, without any further delay, let us get into the making of Groundhog Day Resolutions 2018. Now, I've posted some follow-up stuff over on my Patreon stream. Let's just look at that real quick. If I go to, if I can learn to type Patreon.com. This is me. Hello, me. And I hate this interface. Click on posts. I'm filled with hate. There's a post here that puts everything together. I will put this into the chat channel so people can see it if they want to find some of the backer materials if they happen to be watching this stream. Some of the interesting things are you can see the last year's challenge page, the 2017 GHD challenge. You just want to see an example of how one of these Groundhog Day resolution things go. This one I just broke it down into what my goals were, what my specific goals were starting for 2017. They were grow my neat side business, cultivate and curate a community that gives and receives, develop a system for mind-blowing productive synergy, and commit to and successfully reboot the blog. You know, I guess one thing I can start by just saying, like, did I do these things? Did I grow my Nate side business? Not really. I did add products, but they didn't actually add anything to the business. They just cost me money. So I tried it. That was good. To cultivate and create and curate a community that gives and receives, as awkwardly as that's phrased, that actually did happen. That was the whole Discord chat room thing and this whole live streaming thing. That was super successful, I think. That is a foundation on which I'm going to build the 2018 goals. Develop a system for mind-blowing productive synergy. I'll have to think about that. If anything, though, I identified. Hey, kitty. I identified what was important to me in feeling I was productive, and what was important for me in feeling that I was living an interesting life. I had the realization this year, or last year rather, that I don't like working by myself. That was a big surprise because all I do is work by myself, and I love having the freedom of doing things the way I want. But it turns out that I actually like to have people around to talk to about it. And that's really important. As much as this cat tries to help in his way, he's not a very good conversationalist. He doesn't even meow very loudly. You want to get up over there? Come on, go see your shadow. Oh, there's the cat's butt in cam 2. Hovering uncomfortably close to my phone. Let's move the phone away from that. So anyway, going on down this list, I should probably tell people in the chat room that I've started live streaming this. Let's see, I've started to live stream today's Groundhog Day Resolutions goal setting session. Wish me luck. I'm hoping it takes less than 4 hours. Which it's not. But we'll see. Maybe the clarity I have from the other day will pay off in today. Okay. Anyway, back to this. And then I had some additional directives. And what a directive is kind of like a compass. It's like a rule of thumb that helps me know if I'm going in the right direction or not. For example, it looks like in June I added to my various directives beginning of the year. I called them directives instead of goals because that was the kind of mood I was in that year. I needed to remind myself it's entirely acceptable to pursue mastery in doing my billable work, rather than just doing things as quickly as possible. I needed to hold myself to a certain level of quality. And that made a goal for that was to reduce frustration. And in June, I added, I can reduce frustration and isolation by purposefully de-emotionalizing my reaction to various triggers. That's related to self-caring and also to reduction of frustration. What I mean by that was I found myself just reacting negatively to things when I really didn't have to. Like just a moment ago, I was like all mad at something. I don't even remember what it was. Patreon's default page. There's little interface things that bug the hell out of me. But not letting that fester into real negativity, because real negativity is a good way to kill productivity. Not that I want to be productive all the time. I just don't want to feel like crap all the time. So I think that's something that I've been reminding myself a lot of, just to de-emotionalize my reaction to things. It's a different way of, I guess, being an adult without being an adult in the toolish authoritarian way. I also accepted for Directive G7, not being bored or isolated actually is a self-care thing. And it's okay. Going to the gym I started going to, but I got pooped out in November when my dad came to visit. And my schedule was disrupted. And then in September, added a Dare to Be Me directive. Unapologetically showing my inner self to the outside, to be true to myself, have more of a leadership mentality. And there's a lot of interesting things that are wrapped up in this. Like I have a tendency to dwell a lot on like who am I and like what's my personal identity, what's my role in life. It's just the way I'm wired. And there's certain things that like I didn't let express because I like cute, colorful things, and so I've been trying to wear more of those things like this fun cartoon stuff. I want to let that show more. And not feel like, oh, I had to act like this because like I'm supposed to be a doodly dude or something like this. It turns out that I'm not a doodly dude at all, and I'm going through like some transgender identity questioning right now. And it's kind of interesting just to be able to accept, like, okay, I've got these parts of me that like are just there. Why fight it? Why think negatively of that? Sure, there's self-preservation things that come to mind, but there are maybe ways around that. G10 in September, develop conviction about who I am, what I'm doing, because without it, expression challenge G9 cannot be achieved. G9 being the Dare to Be Me. And in October, seek life chapters that need to close for good. I'd actually forgotten about this one. So they were things like my 2024 goals, like I want to compose a song, I want to write a book, I want to create thinking software, I want to develop a game, those kind of things, and maybe having too many open chapters. Like I was kind of in this feeling that I've been repeating the same stuff over and over again for the past few years. Like I still say I want to have this creative independence thing. I want to make money from what I'm making, what I love. But what is it that I love? It seems like every year I ask the same question, and nothing seems to happen. Maybe I need to close some of these open investigations. And so I start to do that. Like so, I've pretty much dropped all the 2024 goals. I haven't said I'm not going to do them, but they're no longer present in the very limited amount of working memory that I have in my head. And with that reduces frustration, and it improves focus. It's by removing distraction. And then the last one looks like I take the leadership role of being an active source of what I believe in and make it possible for other active nodes to become part of my network. And that I think is a realization that came out of having the co-working chat room and meeting people that I'd never met before who, for some reason, like you, wanted to hang around there. And we've got a nice mix of people of all kinds of backgrounds and from around the world. It's not thousands of people. It's not even hundreds of people. But it's 20 people who have become friends on the internet. And that's amazing, especially when you consider how old I am. I guess I'm not that old. I just turned 50. But still, once you get into your 30s and 40s. And kids, if you're watching this, when you leave college and when you leave the workplace or you sit on your own, it becomes incredibly difficult to meet like-minded people if that's important to you. You really got to put time into it and work at it. So there's my old man advice for the day. But moving on, I'm still reviewing last year's challenge here. Here's the report summary where I took every report, and there's a blog post that goes with each of these. And I identify the highlights of what happened in each of those months. So let me just review this. So in March, I identified a visceral happiness gut test to determine what is worth doing. I don't want to be bored or feel isolated. I want to have money and feel useful. In April, we started doing the objective and key results things daily. This was Roberto's contribution. He started running this in our accountability room on the Discord chat. And for a while, I was tracking things every day and trying to set specific tasks to get done and reporting to them in accountability. So that was kind of fun for a while, but I stopped doing it at some point. We'll see when it is. In May, it looks like I made a critical distinction between my peer community and the product marketplace. Before I go on, let me fix this accessibility zoom thing. This will give me the ability to zoom in on what I'm actually looking at. It keeps resetting every time I change the computer setup. It's like okay, I'm choking down negative reactions now. So I can do this. So I can zoom in and you can see a little bit more closely what I'm looking at. I can even zoom in like this. It's kind of a handy feature, right? Now it's too big and I can't see it. Yes. The distinction between my peer community and project marketplace. So I try to sell these things, right? Sell like various goods on Amazon based on my design work. But I always didn't want to sell out. I didn't want to do things for the marketplace that compromise the integrity of the design I was making. And that becomes a hurdle when you're trying to market things. I think what I realized was that there are two groups. There's my peer community. These are the people that I'm giving the sacred hold of my design to. The people who understand what I'm doing and get it at some fundamental level. Not because I've made them do that or because they've bought into some marketing psychology thing that I've put out there, but because they intuitively felt this is something I like. And I'm interested enough that I'm going to spend some of my valuable time looking more into it and following up on it. That's the peer group. These are the people who are going through their own productive, creative challenges, and they see in my journey and my writing and my tools pieces that resonate with their own journey. And that's the peer group. That's why I do the things. To make money, though, I can take some of the insights that come from those interactions and from the products I made, and those can be structured for a completely different group of people who aren't looking for that core resonance. They're looking for something that, that keeps track of items on a piece of paper that looks nice enough that they want to use it every day. That's a completely different set of criteria to design for. It can be informed by the base underlying design, but I can accept that these people are not as deeply invested in it as I am. That's nothing wrong with them. They just have other things to do. They have other important priorities. They may not have the tendency toward introspection that I have. They may not have some of the issues of like they've had different childhood experiences that drive them in different ways as adults. But we can find shared areas to communicate through. Like they may just like the way they lay out a piece of paper, and maybe that's fine. I'm telling myself it's fine. I still don't believe it. But yeah, so that was the issue with this one. June, I finally launched the new ETP products. It took a long time, and I was clever the way I did this. So I made these loose leaf versions of the Emergent Task Planner and put them on Amazon. And I made 100 units of each one, figuring that they would eventually sell out over the year, because 100 units isn't a lot. And so there's 400 units total that were made of 4 different SKUs, and I made new packaging designs for it, and like I optimized the way that the label SKUs were done for Amazon, and they all looked the same, and it was still a good process, and I worked with my printer to make it happen, to make it as economical as possible. And so of those 400 units on Amazon, I think I still have 370 of them left. And 300 of them I had to have shipped back to me at my own expense, and now they're clogging up my bedroom because no one's buying them, or my basement. And so that's an interesting failure. It's a failure that cost me about $4,000. And I suppose in terms of, it could be much worse. At least I didn't spend money I didn't have. I didn't spend $20,000 producing fancy things and losing. I produced a bunch of things that were relatively easy to do, weren't a big stretch. It was just a different form factor. But what I didn't do in hindsight was I didn't really market them. I figured that momentum would carry them on Amazon, but there's so many people doing this now on Amazon, and there's so much stuff that's out there. Now there's all these people who are making similar products. When I started, there was not really anyone who was doing this. So it gets lost in the noise. I really have to attach something to it. So now I'm going to turn them into promotional products, I think, and package them with other things, remix them, be inspired by Taco Bell. I think Taco Bell, they must have only 3 or 4 major ingredients, and then all their stuff is just variations of. They've got dozens and dozens of different menu items, but they're all combinations of beans, chili, cheese, and tortilla shells. That's it. And then they just say your gordita is 2 kinds of taco shells with chili in it and sour cream, and then it's fried or something like that. And then there's the regular tacos, and there's the hard tacos, and then there's the wraps, and then it's kind of amazing. I'm kind of impressed by how they can make so many different things out of a few base ingredients, and still make them seem kind of wonderful. I like Taco Bell for no good reason, other than it's fun. So let me see. I'm kind of digressing here. Let's see. It's good to review this. I launched new ETP products. Dropped the OKRs in June because they didn't provide a sense of reward, just part of the feeling of never-ending, unrewarding work. And then I dropped the long-term strategic goals permanently. I'm no longer worried about them. In case you don't remember what these are, let me show you the page. I think it's still here. Look at the other day. It's not on the About page, but it's on Investigations, Goals for 2024. This is the introductory blog post article. My blog anniversary. So I had noted this day. What day was this? This is one of those broken posts because WordPress screwed up my database. Or rather, the Jetpack plugin screwed up my database. The Jetpack Markdown plugin was terrible. I'm so angry about that. I still don't see the post title. There's supposed to be a post title somewhere on here, but it's gone. Did I not update this? So there's my next 10 years of blogging. If I update this, maybe it didn't finish. That should rewrite the database and fix everything. There it is again. There's a whole bunch of posts in here that are broken like this, and it's probably screwed up my my searching on Google. Anyway, and whatever this date was, in September 2014, I found I'd written 1,000,000 words. There's literally over 1,000,000 words in my blog now. And for what purpose? And I decided, like, I should make some big goals and pursue them. Make a video game, illustrate a book, pursue creative independence, compose music, develop thinking tools, fabricate physical goods. You know, as I look at these, I'm still pursuing a lot of these things. The video game stuff is kind of backburned. It's not like a main focus. Illustration, I still enjoy looking at illustration. One day maybe I'll get back to it. Creative independence is something I have been pursuing. And in fact, this whole gathering model, fruit tree model thing is still with me today, and this is going to be part of this year's productivity system. Music composition, I have been getting more into just appreciating music. And, maybe I'm making progress on these goals, but I'm just not tracking them anymore. I mean, there might come a point in which the opportunity arises to make something specific and concrete. And that's what's going to be important for me. But getting back to this, second month of frustration, sought a more radical approach to productivity after extensive self-analysis. Big surprise. Updated the 2009 master vantage point maps for 2017. And hypothesized a way to get rid of traditional task and time tracking approaches. This is when I came up with the idea of wanting to do more problem gathering style productivity. Let me go find this. Where are my... I want to dig those maps out because those are actually pretty important. So I'm going to go grab those real quick. Let me see. Let me pull up this stream. There's a couple people watching. Hello, people. Thanks for watching. Hope you're getting your Groundhog Day resolutions on, or you can enjoy watching me flounder with mine and steal some of them. Then I can outsource them to someone. I'll outsource the actual doing of the goals to people, and then I can just kick back and relax. That would be nice. That is the goal of having creative independence, so you can kick back and relax while money comes in. But I'm looking for my... I have this red tube that has all of my maps in it. And it might be back here, actually. I'm going to have to do something about this position of this camera. This is not working. It is a little awkward. Let me move this right now. Hopefully I can, without breaking something. The cat doesn't like this. The camera is in a little bit of a different position today. I should maybe explain some things. In fact, I need to actually spin this around. So, oops. Let's tighten that up. So run it this way. Yeah, so back here, this is my shelf. And I'm going to look in there to see if it's in there. Which means I had to step around the disgusting cat litter box. Which means I need to kick these things out of the way. Which means I need to move this cat. Whoa! You gotta sit over here, okay? He's a good kitty. I'll slide this cart back. I dropped this earlier. This is the acetate sheet that I use for keeping my to-do lists on. And so in this bookshelf unit, there might be... That might be where I put it. If not, it's downstairs. I don't see it. There's all kinds of goodies in here. I don't see it down here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Excellent. What is that? There's all kinds of stuff in here that I still need to dig through. All right. This is what I was looking for. Exciting, isn't it? 25 minutes in. Now you still haven't even started writing the actual posts yet. So there's that. See if we can get this camera in place. In the meanwhile, there's all the shit all over the place. That's making it difficult. This fucking cable's in the way. We need to figure out a way of fixing that. God dang it. I hate cables. Cables and cat shit. Two of my least favorite things. Alright, so this is in place. Let's move this camera down. Let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, okay, I think that might work. Alright, let's clear some of this space out. Switch to aux camera. Actually, this is much better than it was before. So in this thing, when I was talking about the maps, I had made some diagrams of what I thought my resources and goals were. This is a map of how I think that this is a model of me, the things that motivate me. And it's been a while since I've looked at it, so I wanted to take a look at it again. Some things have changed. Then over here, this was the original map of where I was and where I was going. This is from 2009, I want to say. So I was here. These are the things I knew how to do: graphics production, ability to write, the urge to understand and reconstruct, a pile of miscellaneous skills in interactive design and programming, and then certain values that I had. The opportunities were, I could either go through the labyrinth of unclear benefit and methodology, or the system of paid access and academic achievement, fall into the giant hole of all knowledge. If I could get through these, though, I wanted to go for the horizon, and this sort of things like community, guilds, arts, local crafts, blogging, distant mysteries, electronic media, tools, software, and online, things I could make. Making physical goods, books, publishing works, or maybe finding a rocket and going to the moon, whatever that meant. A niche design business, or doing consulting, review, and coaching. Because back then, in 2009, that was what a lot of bloggers were doing. They were saying, like, I have this blog. What can I do with this to make it more of to take what I love and turn it into a legitimate business? I did not go that route because I didn't think I had a legitimate, I didn't think I had something to really say about it. And so I redrew the map from 2009. And I did this, I think, last year. And I compressed a bunch of stuff. This became one part. This is the redrawing of the existing skills I had, and some of them had aged. The endless blogging and writing did not age well. This is where I started. I had a little bit more money, and I had a little reserve of money. I had a recurring revenue on Amazon, some whatever years later. From 2009 to I guess 8 years later, I had made a little bit of progress. I had bypassed all this stuff, and I ended up going this way. These are the things that actually worked. The niche design business, that actually worked out. Well, sort of. I actually shut it down. The physical goods and products, that kind of worked out. Those are the two things. Consulting and coaching, that was a non-starter. 2024 goals, I started rethinking it. And I didn't fill out this part yet. This is where I am now. Where is this? What's this going to be in 2018? The local arts blogging stuff, that was dead. So this was a kind of a dour look at what I wanted to do. You can see here there's a little path that I could have gone over this bridge into mainstream land. But I said no thanks. I kind of going up here. So this is where I was. There is a border, a trade border with the niche design business, physical goods, into, how you call it, muggle world. Um, I think one thing that's important to me is to be doing things that are really part of the world of imagination, not so much of the world of reality. I guess that's another way. What I'm trying to say. It's another way of the things that I like to do that maybe I'm good at are influenced more by what is possible than what is. How do you make things better? How do you make things? How do you engineer the world so it matches a newer reality that is more interesting? Looks like I have some more diagrams in here. Let's see what these are. This is the production model of doing things. This is another look at the production model. This is when I was trying to define the gathering model here. So this is how I thought the system would work. First pass description. Yeah, I was going to eventually turn this into some kind of process. But I don't think it's necessary today, because we're just focusing on other things. Hey, Kiddly. Ooh, draw, yes. Sometimes drawing things is fun for me. Just a different way of accessing different thoughts. When I'm drawing things, I'm thinking, I usually think differently than if I'm writing linearly. Although I don't suppose I really write that linearly. So this is the last can of Diet Moxie, a drink that nobody likes except for me. Oh, now I'm gonna burp all day. So where was I again? I was looking at I was reviewing these Groundhog Day goal things. So this is when I was talking about the master vantage points. In July, that's when they updated these things over here. And then we started the gym habits. To support the mastery directives, added the G7 directive to preempt guilty feelings of being too slow. Reduce the number of active projects. Declared Directive G9 to dare myself to be more truly and publicly. To be myself more truly and publicly. I start wearing nail polish on one finger to see what people would say. An experiment for G9, which is dare to be me in public. It turns out no one really cares. So I was also really surprised by that. In my mind, I was thinking that, oh my god, you're wearing nail polish, what's wrong with you? And I get punched in the face or something. But no, just people say nothing. I'm surprised at how much you can get away with if you're not really in people's faces about it. In my mind, I think I'd imagine being bullied at high school or something like that. But when as a grown-ass adult, maybe it happens less. I can't say for sure. Some of my trans friends, they deal with a lot more issues because they're much more out. Grappled with depression and long-deferred personal projects due to contract work. That's going to be an issue this year. Decided that to be confident in myself, I would drop hope that other people will provide positive energy with any reliability. Accepting responsibility for doing this myself, and declared intent to develop conviction, DG10. Began Atkins-style weight loss diet, switching to slow carb later. I want to amplify what I mean by dropping hope here. It sounds negative, but what I realized I was doing was there's this long-standing goal of mine to be around positive-minded, conscientious, kind, supportive, competent, conscientious people. That has been, I've realized this for a long time. But one thing I didn't realize is that, when I was around these people, I had this expectation that somehow that would affirm what I'm doing. And I didn't realize that I was depressed because I wasn't getting the affirmation that I wanted. So having realized this, I said, actually not looking for affirmation here. I'm looking to be able to share things. That's a much more positive way of doing things. Positive in the sense that, well, It's positive because it seems less needy. I don't like being needy. Um, Sharing, I think, tends to mask neediness, or like it supplants it. I'm not sure what I'm saying. This is kind of a new thought now. But anyway, with the affirmation stuff, is it's enough to be able to share what I'm doing with people, and I think I'm happy doing that. If someone reacts to it and just sees it, and I see them seeing it, and I see them having a positive reaction to it, then that's a big reward for me, and presumably it's also rewarding to people who come across the work. Um, yeah, but then just saying, thinking like, oh, no one looked at my stuff today, like, or no one like said like this, and like I'm waiting for this. I was waiting for affirmation as permission to move forward with things. Um, and I was letting that anxiety build up. So it's like, oh, no one's saying anything about it, so it might not be worth doing. These were all like unvocalized thoughts. So it's just like this feeling that I think probably goes back to childhood. Not feeling like I was being seen, or not feeling that people understood what I was doing, and other people seemed so much more confident in what they were doing than I was, that I assumed that I must be incompetent. Um, so like that's something that I've been working on, just overcoming. It's the last few, hopefully, childhood demons that are being exorcised from me. Um, but yeah, I don't need affirmation from other people. But one thing I can do is affirm other people. I can affirm that I've seen and heard what they've said. That's a wonderful thing. I can have nice conversations with people, and I can share the stuff that I'm doing in a way that doesn't make them feel put upon. Doesn't seem like I'm asking for something. But we're both people that are doing something, trying to make something of our lives. And this is what I'm doing, what I've seen, and I'm sharing it with you. And if you feel like sharing something back with me, I would love to hear it. That's all the affirmation that I need. That maybe that maybe the way to put it is that the affirmation I need is that there are people around me going through the same thing. And by me providing the blogging and examples of where I'm failing or where I've succeeded or how I've done things, that's the affirmation signal that I'm broadcasting. You're not alone in this. It's important for me to be in that role. And there's no reason for it. There's no. It's just the way that I'm wired. It's something that's very deep in me. It's like on the flip side, it makes it very difficult for me to play multiplayer like first-person shooter games online because there's so much negativity and and trash talking there. It makes me feel bad. It's just such a kind of energy that I don't deal very well with. But anyway, getting back to this, because really wanted to write the stupid goals, and I'm already an hour in. I was hoping I was finished this in under 4 hours, and I'm spending an hour already just reviewing last year. Let's go talk this stuff out. In October, from October there was a lull in contract. I lost 15 pounds and I gained that all back. Closed chapters, killed desire to connect with people. Self-anchoring source. That's kind of a follow-up from September. In November, decided to have conviction about being the leader of message. I'm not sure what I meant here. I'll have to fix that later. To be a self-affirmed source of Daveness for a network of like-minded people. Yesterday in the stream, I was talking about. Well, I don't think I mentioned it, but there was this idea of the Tao of Dave, the way of Dave. Reframed all my past work under the G12 banner, which is a worthy mission statement that gives my work a renewed sense of purpose. And G12 was take on the leadership role of being an active source of what I believe in and make it possible for other active nodes to become part of the network. By active source, I mean, I guess it's like this thing. I found this thing at Christmas tree shops one year. Be the change you wish to see. That's what I mean by being a self-affirmed source of Daveness. If you want a positive world, put positivity into it. If you want to be a competent person, be around a competent person, share competency, talk about it, celebrate it, recognize it. That's do it purposefully. And if anything, that's has a positive effect. And then December 12th, having chosen a course of combining community building and not working along with gathering style productivity and happy bubble time as potential anchors for my job description. That's not a sentence. I'm thinking. Oh, okay. Sort of a sentence. Excuse me. I should fix this. I'm not even showing the right page. So I was reading. Where was it? I'm going to chose course of action. Combine community building plus not working with gathering style productivity as the anchor. Job description. I'm still working on it. Hard boring stuff can get later. And then up here I had wanted to rephrase this sentence. Decide to have conviction about being about being the leader of this message. Be one's best self and be a self-affirmed source of Daveness. That seems it needs a little bit more clearly. And the rest of this is just the links to all the other posts. So with that going on, all right, so now let's get down to the actual making of this thing. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I wish I'd gotten snacks. Forgot to get snacks. Snacks make everything better. Oh, I did get this, but I didn't need heavy cream. Susan in the chat room had told me about this coffee drink she makes that involves this protein powder, heavy cream, and coffee. And she says it makes a delicious low-carb beverage. I don't have heavy cream, so I can't make it. But Susan, if you're watching this, I am totally going to try this out. Okay, I'm going to switch to this mode and to AuxCam over here because I'm trying to figure out what it is that... actually, one of these other modes might work. I need to really make the flipped version of this with AuxCam and me. How come I don't have an AuxCam plus me? Or is that this? No, that's this view. Duh. I should draw a line on this thing. So, AuxCam plus me. What am I doing? You could design... We're designing this year's Groundhog Day Resolutions. And if you tuned in yesterday, you saw that I took a bunch of stuff. Let's see, I have this screen, I have this one. These are the same, right? No, this and this, these are the same. These are linked. In fact, they're the same color. So over on here, what was I going to look at? This was... Oh, right, it's the Scrivener thing, which I can't find for some reason. Let's open Scrivener. So yeah, so yesterday what I was doing is I was copying all the goals out of the various Groundhog Day resolution posts for February for the past 11 years. And when you do this, you can actually see this card view. This is showing all the summaries for each of these cards. And then what I did is I printed them out like this. So I could kind of flip them around the table. So if I go back to that, which is this screen, or this screen, I mean. So 2007, 2009, 2008, 10, 17, 16, 15. And there's some more up here. Oh, there's coffee all over them now. But now they just look more lived in. 14, 13, 12, 11. So I could go through these individually and see what they look like. I guess they're not all showing on the screen. Let me look at these again. Commit to writing and deriving income from writing and making stuff. And here I might wrote some notes. I like being my own voice. I like meeting people. Like this year's the year that I was thinking that I just identified the liking of things, and I wanted more of the good feeling. And then every subsequent year was trying out something new to make that work. So the next year it was the same goals as 2007, and I started like, okay, maybe I should make things. Maybe I should be serious about being an independent content creator. And let me try meeting more people. And at the same time, I need to do some credibility building. This is what I call the mobility maker. Increasing my reputation as a writer and designer, growing my financial resources, and developing chutzpah, being able to approach people, basically. That's just something I was very shy about doing. So recognizing I needed to gather some specific skills. In 2009, I started thinking more about visions of things, or what is it that, I guess you could say, I knew things that I liked, but I was now trying to find the higher order reason for it, the why of it. The why of it, and then what is the direction to move in. That's maybe more of a broader look at what gives me meaning, and where can it go where that meaning can come to fruition. And so the vision was to live a meaningful life of individual creativity and contribution. The note over here is the clarification of why pursue the 2007 goals. The directive to be involved with dreams that were larger than myself. The realization from that was it's hard to be self-motivated by just my own dreams. Good insights and good times happen with other people when you're doing that. The resolution to create a shop filled with things I like. This was the reification of the 2007 goal. I like the idea of having a physical shop that you could hold in your hand. There's a tangibility that goes with that. 2010, a re-emphasis of 2009, the making new things every day, and being involved with dreams bigger than myself. It's basically a continuation of 2009, but with more of an emphasis on people. It's surprising that I didn't see how much people were important to me until this year. I knew I liked people, but I didn't know how to interact with them. In 2011, this was a continuation of 2009, 2010, making products. This was the way that the way I made products and the principles and personal conviction I had about what made a good product. That was the 2011 was about that. Was that the year I did the first challenge? I think the first challenge was 2013. I should make a note of when that was, because I think that's important. Let me go back to screen here. When was that? When was that? If I go to this, just sort of doing a little bit of the first past challenge product thing was 2013. That's the first one. So I'm looking at 2011. That didn't happen yet. That was the expanding the line one. So I would say that 2009 through 2011, these are one phase. If I was to say there's phase one, there's phase two. In 2012, still trying, create a system for self-sustaining life balance, raise level of passive income, and targeted levels. This is me getting more specific. This is when I was starting to have trouble. I recognized I was getting frustrated after 5 years of trying that, like the system hadn't yet come together for me. So I think that's an important realization. And in 2013, the year that I first made something, this is a new product every day. That's important. Why can't I draw? I was confident that I really want creative independence and authorship of my destiny. The goal was to create financial independence and complete big projects. This was, I think, the year when there was a big burst of making every day. Then 2013, 2014. I also did a challenge in 2014. Did I? Let's see. Under investigations, did produce new thing again in the game. Yep. So I did do two of those. All right. So this is a phase too. So phase 2012. This was an assessment year. I was starting to have trouble balancing everything. At the same time, I was trying to push on the specific raising of passive income as an actual target because I saw that as being necessary to be able to fund my my ridiculous life of staying at home. One of the most inspirational quotes I heard was when Neil Stephenson said, and when he was doing this Kickstarter for this sword fighting game, he says, like, why am I involved in this Kickstarter when I'm like a book author and not a software developer? Well, he wanted to give a little push to the group because himself is an enthusiast with swords. And then he said something like, then I can get back to my life of making stuff up and cashing checks. And that's something that really appealed to me. Can I just make a life, if I could make a living making up stuff and then cashing checks, that would be pretty cool because then I could fund sword fighting games or do whatever I wanted or spend all the time. Even if I had, so the whole idea of financial independence was if I could make in, let's say, like $3,000 of profit from activities I make. And for $3,000 of profit, you need about, assuming a 30% profit margin, about $10,000 of revenue every month, which might sound like a lot, but not really. It really isn't. So 10,000. It's hard if no one knows what you're doing. It's hard if you don't have any materials out there. It's hard if you're not showing and demonstrating all the time. But if you are, it becomes achievable. It's taken me 12 years to get to the point where I'm starting to see something happen. I'm kind of stuck in it right now, but I see how the system works at least, and I have some insight into how I can do it now without selling out or losing the integrity with which I design things, which is, I guess, a good important takeaway that I would not have believed when I started this. Anyway, 2012 was realizing like I'm having some issues with that. 2013-24 was me making, for me, a big move to do big things because I thought that I needed to get unstuck and I wanted to do something big and impressive and systematic and founded in numbers and measurable achievements. Then in 2015, I burned out. In fact, you can see this if I go to my, oops, wrong thing. If I go to this investigation panel again and look at 2015 microtasks, this petered out. I was just trying to do a really tiny thing every day and not spend a whole lot of time on it. It wasn't working the way that I hoped it would. Let's see. I was going to do it only for a month. And microtask was any tangible step I could take quickly in about 15 minutes. It's not complete in itself. It's related to one of my 2015 goals, which was here it says to, I think this isn't clicking. This is a little weird. I'm going to fix the markings on that. Break dependence on time, minimize energy sapping possessions and responsibilities, be a full-time stationary business by end of the year, find the will to create and share, and build health and strength. This was me finding balance, recognizing that doing all the system stuff all the time just wasn't working for me. I was thinking too much about time, I was thinking too much about other things, and I was kind of frazzled. In 2016, I had unrealistic, this is a continuation of 2015, kind of recognizing my weaknesses, or let me rephrase that, recognizing the nature of my way and how I like things, let's say. And plus, just, this is also just an important realization in general, is like, everything can't be fast and efficient, especially if you're doing something for the first time. And this is just something that people should know in general. They have unrealistic expectations about how fast things should be, how easy they are, etc. Talking to some clients are like that, some people are like that. I was like that with my own projects. And then 2017, so I simplified the goals. I wanted to make progress in 2024 goals, share what I love, important personal positive energy generator. The neat side business, that's a distillation again of like, how can I have a tangible representation of all this bundle of things I like. It's like having that little store. It's having, like having a neat side business. It's like, oh yeah, I sell stationery. You want to see some? It's like that. I want to have interactions like that. Not like, like I incorporated in 2014. David Say Design creates functional stationery for a wide range of applications, ranging from paralegal to blah blah. I don't want to write that kind of copy. But writing from the perspective, hey, I have a neat side business. You want to see it? It's like saying, I have a frog. Do you want to see it? That kind of immediacy, I think, is important. But then in 2017, dun, 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 the goal was generate money from what I make as I pursue my own interests, creative independence, which I talked about like years ago. But the big realization was that connections with like-minded peers, making and sharing with each other, the creative interdependence was key. And I was wondering if this was the foundation for happiness. Mind-blowing productive synergy, that was like a system approach that I thought would help. And instead, I don't think I really followed up on that. And I think the key thing was not to be bored and to feel alive. And a lot of these other things I've been doing have been feeling bored. Like, the idea of like having a factory that makes stationery is like so boring. Having a neat side business in a shop is much more interesting to me. So picking the scale at which I can operate is maybe an important thing. So, let's see. There's some people in the chat room doing Groundhog Day resolutions. Let's see. We should post in the live stream, studio chat. Let's see. davidsay.com live. HTTP. I'm just typing into the window here. I am streaming today's GHDR's goal setting again in at. This is the studio chat room. All right, so let's go back to this view. Ooh, some Xiaomi. Yeah, I think we're talking about the protein powder stuff. Okay, so where am I now? How long have I been doing this? An awful lot of review. An hour in. 3 people watching. Eee. Hello, people. Am I ready to do the actual planning? I feel a little bit scared. So I've reviewed all this stuff. I have some ideas for how this all fits together. Um, 3, 12, 11, 10, 9. You know, I really am glad I spent 6 hours getting to the point where I could make these cards. Because being able to just kind of flip through them like this has been very helpful in seeing the overall patterns. And as a result, I actually feel pretty good about the Groundhog Day path, even though it doesn't seem like I've achieved creative independence, if that was ostensibly the goal. I have learned a lot about myself. And so I just want to look at these cards too. So this one, Paul in the chat room yesterday has said, well, like, why do the projects have to be big? Instead of pursuing the large, big projects as a target, why not see what big projects emerge from chaining small projects together and see what I get? This is a nice example of gathering rather than being more of a focused factory approach. It's emergent, which is something that I like, obviously, with all my emergent timing and tracking stuff. And there is the comfort of trusting the underlying system. If there's anything I've learned to trust that eventually I can figure something out. That's my version of competence. And then this was a model of the happiness formula, which might be useful. And so I guess I'm like reviewing to see what actionable elements there are. This card says, maybe the answer is simply not to care. Rather than deconstruct the system, trust the system leads to where you're going based on what you do. That's another way of saying follow your bliss, I think. Still, I want control. But I can control small, good things and trust that they lead to a good thing. I think that's an important thing to remember. And then what is this? This is excellence in mastery, independence, big projects completion. How do these fit in? This is a diagram, sort of how I think a productive life works. You make big projects, you show them to people, that opens up opportunities, it increases your recognition, it improves your reputation, because you're making cool stuff. It demonstrates designability, capability, existence, body of work. These are all credibility indicators. But is it happiness? Probably not. And this was a list here on top of it that this is on the acetate usually, this thing. I'll put it back. The big personal projects. Which looking at them don't look all that big anymore. They've lost their mystic power over me. So I'll put this aside. These are some notes I wrote. Why have creative independence? There's a flippant answer with this. I don't want people telling me what to do. That's what it comes down to. I don't want people telling me what to do, and I want to have the financial resources so I don't have to do what they're telling me to do. And then there's a measure of guilt that I am pursuing this because other people don't have it. And then there's the issue of balance. All these things that are swirling around my head. And then finally, let's check this. Creative work that pays for household expenses. Discover, learn, can share. Memory, trusts, 4 agreements review. Paul Gelford says, suggested. Microblogging, basically. He did like the thing a day stuff. Then I starred stuff that were principles that were important to me. Do my best work, overcome, be aware of my competence anxiety, connect with people to share, not for affirmation, don't take things personally, embrace slowness, not think about time, be mindful of, or not thinking about time is greater than being mindful of team. That's more important. Oh, mindful of time? Oh, mindful of time. I realized that made no sense. How many hours equals productive? Health and strength. Is a regular schedule necessary? Maybe not. Guilt from having enough. I should write down that one of the things I responded to when Vicky asked this question was regarding the guilt, like if there's things that I could do to to help other people as a way of alleviating the guilt. And then I realized, this may sound like very selfish, that it was I feel guilty but not apologetic. Which is a weird combination. Apologetic. Which means that I feel so bad about it, but I don't feel compelled to apologize for this. Um, and I already do put out things that I think are sharing. I share in the way that I can. I do share in the way that I can. Or it's probably more accurate to say not in the way that I can. I share in the way that I'm comfortable. And it's also, I think, fair. I have a real issue with people who have a sense of entitlement. And I think my guilt maybe comes from me thinking, associating with the blessings that I have, the unearned advantages and privileges, the luck of being where I am, of been born at a certain time to certain people, the impossibility of just being who I am now and just kind of having, by the luck of fate, having opportunities like this. That's the kind of guilt I'm talking about. The guilt in the abstract. I guess you could call it'd be like the equivalent of white guilt, I suppose, or um, something like that. I don't want to take it for granted, and yet I worry that I do. So, anyway. With this all out of the way, can I actually do my Groundhog Day resolutions? Let's start a new spread here. Excuse me. So over here, I'm going to do this kind of crooked, unfortunately. I'll start with this. Everything's not working. Now let's get to the actual system design. What goes into a Groundhog Day resolution, or any kind of resolution? There is the desire for change, which means you need to know what the status quo currently is. What is the change we want? What is the change? This might be faster just to type it out rather than draw it. Let's try that for a while. Let me close this. And let me actually put it over in Docs.ds Cowork. So people who are watching can also get into this folder. This is a public folder, so you can jump into it. Where would that be? Do I have a Groundhog Day Resolutions project? No, I don't. Is it up here? There's the GHDR breakdown. Let me make a GHDR folder. Probably have too many of these. What's this GDTQ thing? I don't remember. This should be shared with should have the same permissions. If it doesn't, let me know. And then here I'm going to make a new document. I'm sorry, it's not showing the right screen. Making a new doc. New blank doc. Yes, create and share that shared folder. Alright, so this is going to be GHDR 2018 goals. Alright. And I wrote here, well, what is a damn it. Goals. What the fuck? Alright, so GHDR 2018 goals. Maybe a resolution is to swear less. But what is a resolution? One, you want to change something about your life for the better. You pick a tangible, measurable goal that you can work on. And that produces measurable, tangible results. So you can see if you did it at the end of the year. You also have a good idea of what you don't like about your life now and why this goal will make your life better in the future. I'm going to say you also should have some idea what you're nice and why this goal is going to make your life better. This is like the compass. So let me ask, you want to change something about your life for the better. The negative phrasing is what sucks about your life now. I like to phrase things in the positive and negative because it gives you kind of a range of thinking. You pick a goal that produces measurable, tangible products. See if you did this. The negative version. What did you fail to do last year? That sucks. And then you should also have some idea what you don't like about your life now, what would make your life better. What's the negative version of that? There might not be one. Any ideas? Room? Actually, swearing less is I think I will make a swear jar this year. And, yes. No, that'll be the one tangible goal that I have this year. Okay, so the overarching theme of my last 11 years of goal setting, they really have been what will make me happy based on realizations, or revelations I should say, I've had. I didn't know I was trying to be happy before, but I can see it in that framework. Um, while this goal and the immediate supporting goals of making a living and being around nice people, people I like, have not changed since 2007. The manner with which I explored these two factors has varied. None of them have resulted in the feeling that I made it / I am happy forever. But and I started to feel very frustrated about this last year, having reviewed it all. I can see the themes converging. So, is my resolution to be happy this year? Let's say hypothesis. Hypothetical goal. Or be happy. Hypothesis. Oops, happiness. Happiness hypothesis is there's a bunch of things I can just write down here. Creating, or let's see, sharing what I love, learning about the world with people that I like, with through media creation. I think this is important to me. Sharing what I love with like-minded people who also share what they love. That's super important too. Having the freedom and the means to pursue my transient interests. Collecting and gathering, or gathering the bits of the world into handy collections, that are good examples of something that I love. And being able to share them. This gets into product. Writing collections of writing, making recommendations, sharing insights. These are things I love. They occur. Another happiness hypothesis is okay, that's one happiness hypothesis. Let's call this happiness hypothesis 1. These I think these are true because I can see this pattern in all the stuff that I do. being around positive-minded, conscientious, kind, generous, competent people. These are happiness hypothesis level 1, let's call it. There is a level 2 where you might have more disaffectedness. Happiness hypothesis level 2. This is about excellence, um, doing big projects, pursue excellence, awesomeness with persistence. This is a sense of mission. The sense of mission. Epicness. There is mastery, process to create excellence. Deep understanding of concepts with ability to communicate them with outstanding clarity. And let's say there's another level of happiness. Happiness hypothesis. Level 3. Creation of big fucking systems. Good thing I didn't implement the swear jar. Big fucking impressive systems that are imbued with level 1 and 2 qualities. Creation of proof of concept prototypes that illustrate the good qualities or the qualities of level 1 and 2 making. Imbued with the qualities of 1 and 2. This is about like the big making things. Being the author / acknowledged creator of big fucking systems. We got the BF systems. This is all ego stuff, really. Ego, mastery, sharing. So somewhere in level 2 and 3, this is where the challenges are. There is a desire to have these things. having enough money to so I don't have to do things that other people tell me to do unless I want to do them. That's it's like it's a little embarrassing to say that, but I think it's true. I don't want to have to do what other people tell me what to do, especially if I think it's terrible. Um, I don't want to have I don't want no boss basically. I want to be my own boss, but then I guess happiness level 4. This is motivation. This is the hardest. I guess these are in order of difficulty. Difficult. Let's call these difficulty levels. Starting projects that have a measure of uncertainty. Starting projects that have a measure of that have unknown rewards or value until they're done, and how to do them. Overcoming happy with difficulty level 4 motivation. Overcoming anxieties about time, efficiency, speed of learning, speed of implementation. Overcoming anxieties about tasks. Oh, that's certainty. Reframe this. Guaranteed. What are some other? There's another one, right? This is where the taskless timeless thing is coming into place. Let's look at this. This thing might help. Here I'm making kinds of share, design tangible work, primary marketing. That's right, doing boring stuff. Oops. Doing boring or mundane tasks. Not sure if these are really happiness difficulties, but I'm just going to go with this for now. I may have to reframe this list, but I can see like how all the system stuff is kind of tied together. So, well, you can bear with me. Where is this? That. Time. These aren't exactly anxieties, but they're like negative reactions about task values. During negativity toward boring, routine/boring, mundane tasks. else is missing from this. We fill these things in. Happiness to go live. We're showing the following comes naturally to me. I really feel good when I can be immersed in these activities. However, this is where I'd like to be all the time. This becoming really good at skills is important, is attractive to me too, but is more difficult because of memory, challenging. I'm not always up for the challenge, but I feel very strongly about spending the time to try to do them. A lot of my process-driven work this is a different kind of happiness. The accrual of mastery of any type and of any type, as well as the ability to demonstrate it. I feel some dissatisfaction. How many S's are in dissatisfaction? That's satisfaction. Doesn't look right. 2 S's. Is it satis? Dissatis? I can't fucking spell. Dissatisfaction is how I think it would be spelled. There's no exact without 2 C's in it. And my achievement here. It's here, though. I'm attracted to doing hard things because I can see the value, see how they work. However, my abilities are not yet up to the task of doing these all by myself. There is a desire to be a solo creator because I have not found the team that will work with me. I'm doing these all by myself, and this is very frustrating. There is a fear of competence, is a fear of incompetence that lurks deep in my subconscious that I tell to shut up, but is always present. How come this is... that I have to periodically when I become aware that it's leaking negativity. I see these big projects as being the most valuable drivers of creative to achieve creative independence. There is also it's not so much a fear and anxiety that I'm not smart, good, or smart, capable enough to do them. By myself. This is called these ego projects. But they're also kind of key. So I don't think there's a happiness level 4. Oh, difficulty level 4. There is difficulty built into all of these things. There's it's called these happiness detractors. These are demotivators. I'll also drink. I'll see if there's anyone in the chat room. Nope. Oh wait, is there anyone in the chat room? There's still a couple people watching. Hopefully people are doing their streams. I could go on and on about this. Let's just keep with these three. I can fill these out. I think the hypothetical goal is be happy. So we want to come up with measurable with some happy inducing goals. Hypothetical support structures. Monitor the 3 levels of happiness difficulty and refine over the year. Negativity about dealing with low quality information and instruction to get something to work in one of my other systems. And with confusing, that impedes my critical path implementation. Negativity about dealing with poorly designed and documented equipment, tools, gear that are part of the critical path implementation. Energy loss from dealing with social interactions of a routine, of a mundane nature. Mundane slash what's it called when someone is pulling energy from you in a kind of grabby, entitled nature, particularly ones where people are not being upfront about what they want, or are being passive aggressive in their interactions, or refuse or deflect blame from themselves onto other people, toxic people. All right, so where am I now? Negativity. Happiness, difficulty, or fine. Happy inducing goals. All right, so here's some ideas. Let me make I'm going to print these out. Insert page break. These are known downers for my motivation. What are the counter measures, or what countermeasures exist? Can I deploy? I have a lot of tips, little tricks that I can use, along with the acceptance that some things just take time, just are boring, take time, or have uncertainty baked into the process. Learning to cope with them, or reverse. Hey, Courtney, reverse my attitude by embracing are possible. Is possible. But hey Vicky, doing my getting to the part of actually writing down the Groundhog Day resolutions now. And coming up with some specific happy-inducing goals. Oh, I don't know what's going to make me happy. Blarg. Well, actually, I do know some things. So I think one of them is making a thing a day seems to be great. Just make it less demanding. Except try to find the links between the small things a day that combine into emergent bigger things. Demanding of personal sacrifice. I think one resolution is on the mastery level. This is a gathering style productivity system. Oh, that's like really more of a deploy and refine the gathering style productivity system, which is having a bucket you put things in every day and having a separate process of reviewing them to see what you can do to either share or build. Or document a share. Demanding, so that doesn't belong there. But one of the happiness and goose and gold. These are like level 1. L1. Because they're tied in run sharing. The level 2 happiness goals would be we want to build a bigger system. And document the fuck out of it. The doing of it. Collecting process. And best practices. L2 is also, well, what's L2? Is it level 3? And L2 plus L3. This is the build up the product market, product mix for my neat side business. For sale. Another thing for the neat side business. Having enough money to hire the people from level 1 part at a fair wage to be part of the making Just finding a happiness. Share everything. So I've induced a happiness-inducing goals. Resolution. Focus on mastery in software. Resolution. That our level 1 goal is L1. Continue to make and share via virtual co-working, via streaming. These are all part of the goals, I think. So, what's another resolution? So when we make these things, the other thing is the neat side business, I think. Combine my disparate activities all into a cohesive neat side business identity. I think I know what it all is. Create an identity, a public brand, built on leadership and saying for the things I love and sharing them all as my neat side business. Alright, I think those are my Groundhog Day resolution goals. Now I just have to write the fucking post. And get a swear jar. Good thing I don't have it yet. Otherwise. So I need to write about each of these things. Alright, so these are the actual resolutions. Oh, there's a health one too. But I don't think I really need to worry about that. I guess these happiness detractors and motivators. Where did I put the another resolution? To apply, gathering, or develop, make a viable gathering style productivity system. Apply it. These are actually part of the support structure. Level 1 difficulty, level 1 difficulty. I might have to rename those again. These aren't L1 difficulty. These are L2 plus L3. L2, L3 difficulty. L3 difficulty. Let's make this more specifics. Actively use the accrual bucket and product combobulator. Actively share or build a document share. Now these support structures, supporting principles. Try to find the links. I'm going to say daily. Another daily. Of time, so instead of calling these difficulty levels, I'm going to just call them levels. Daily L1. This isn't calling out how hard they are. I already know they're hard. L1, L2, L1. Let's see. I don't think that's a duplicate now. The product mix. Consolidate the stores. For share them widely. As part of the meat side business, e-commerce side. These are monitoring. Look in the accrual bucket and prod combobulator. Is that going to work? Actively, not use. Keep the indexes. These for the accrual product combobulator up to date. Log. And refine. On daily basis review. These are daily monitoring, I think. All right, is this a system? Am I done with this? Maybe. No, okay. Now I just need to write the freaking blog post. So let me just, now I need to do an outline. Outline for blog post. See if we can just rattle this thing off. It's year 12. I used to feel terrible about having the same goal from 2007 seemingly go nowhere. On review, I see the larger pattern. Photo. Cards. Photo. Scrivener. And it's not bad. As bad as I thought. In fact, it's pretty cool. Um, what is a resolution? It's identifying, it's the hypothetical key to changing something in the status quo through the application of effort toward a desired that's weird. It's the hypothetical key to change the status quo. Choosing a targeted, but an action that has changes the status quo, a better, I'm not phrasing this right, better selection of the key. Key presumes the selection, what? This presumes you know what the status quo is and why it's there, and that you know your heart well enough / situation and personal situation well enough to pick pick a course of action that is valuable. In my case, I want to be happy, and I think, and over the past 11 years, this is how I model it. Insert review of cards. This is how I am currently modeling it. Insert from GHDR goals. Challenge how to create a set of specific goals that bring these about. There's like here are the goals that arise from it. This model. Insert resolutions. DR goals 2018. Now, supporting tractors. Of 3 levels. Groundhog Day Resolutions. As for the monitoring, to ensure health, progress, or to promote progress on these goals. Progress. These goals. I'm kind of excited about the swear jar. That seems like the most exciting thing so far. Why does this plonk out? Is it consistently picking up my... Oh, it's because it's this microphone, not the other one. Okay. Here's some monitoring system.
Mic is kind of picking up off and on.
Yeah, I just realized it's probably because the...
Yeah, you cut it out.
Yeah, let me switch the microphone on Discord. It's supposed to be set up because I'm not always talking to the Discord mic. I'm talking through the MGXU, so I've just switched it over.
Oh, I love that microphone.
So this microphone shall sound much better. Sound good? Yay.
Beautiful.
Good. Sorry about that. I didn't realize, like, the laptop mic is all the way to the left side, and so I'm staring at this. My mouth isn't pointing at it at all. So that's why. But this microphone's on my freaking head. There's no escaping it. All right, so promo progress now. Here's some monitoring strategies. So these monitoring strategies should work better. Insert.
This is better.
What? What's better? Me?
Yes, your mic is better now.
Yeah. I had forgotten to switch over the microphone from the laptop mic to the fancy one I'm using up here. Dial-in monitoring. Monitoring. HDR goals 2018. Is that everything? There's also daily. Groundhog Day dailies. Here's some daily strategies. Do they call it daily monitoring or? Daily activities. Yeah, extra space. I think finally, here are some negative factors to defend Insert. Where is it? Happiness detractors and motivators. Oops. DR goals. So after having done that, this is a section. This is a section. Okay, this is the actual section. Goals section. Success metrics are the publishing of something every day, either through the live stream, What's Up Dave, or the blog, or Patreon. It's important that these accrue in a visible fashion as well. So I'll have to develop some way of storing, showing these on my website. Each of the daily activities has a recording, are built around some tangible achievement. So I think this might help. What do you mean by that? Each of the daily activities are built around tangible achievement. So visiting them every day might make me feel good. What about the big system projects? There's a tendency for me to feel stuck on those. And demotivated to even start. I don't know if this new system will help with that, but I guess we'll find out. I'm also concerned about life balance between all this and staying healthy. And there's the physical health, of course. And I want to have that part of my life because being strong and is great. Plus I'm getting old and need what's that term again from Dr. Strangelove? My precious bodily fluids be in peak condition. I may not use that phrase. Let's see. Then there's mental health and the center, which involves being around people I like. I don't know my criteria. And dealing with the more personal issues around personal identity. More, it's more personal issues. I was wondering how open I should be with this. I guess I can just try to talk about it. Let's see. For me, don't like to. We'll consider thought. Probably should leave it out. I think that clouds the issue, the overall issue. It could be a separate blog. Then there's or personal issues like uncovering the sources of lingering anxieties, nihilism, disconnection from humanity. I'm not sure HDR will help with those, but I don't. So this is a separate category from that. What else am I concerned about? Concerns. Measuring success. The 2018 HDR goals. Contemplating resolutions. What is a resolution? Goals. That sounds more exciting. Introduction. Kicking things off. It might take a few days to get rolling on this, but I am going to commit to the following. Daily posts on either social media or daily daily updates of the monitoring indices. Daily sharing on stream or posts. I actually don't know. I'm going to pursue. Let me just leave out the word commit. With the intention of making these daily updates. Sharing progress. Sharing of all kinds on the stream. And increasingly and through public indices or public logs of the accrual and combobulator logs. Maintaining the showing the progress of the neat side business. Um, um, the public view of the accrual. Making the accrual and combobulator logs public and therefore updated daily. Opening the combobulator as a market or like release or market or as a combobulator assets as a kind of thing a day challenge. Though it may not be daily. Some things just take a lot of time. Let's see. So what makes this work? I've got the goals. Of course, there's the periodic review of Groundhog Day Resolutions. So, do I feel good? Frustrated? Evaluating success. SUCCESS based on feeling? Well, I guess the happiness levels, or rather, on progress on the specific goals, and an overall feeling of how productive was I versus what were this month's frustrations versus what's the biggest cool thing I did this month versus what is the surprising cool things that happened that just happened. I think I'm missing some unsticking things. Sharing. Engaging in pure discovery. Sake of it via happy bubble time. I think this is enough of a layout. This is be a perfectly fine post, I think. Alright, so I think I have the basis of a blog post outline. So let's copy this into... Well, let's do some spell checking first. Should I apostrophize what's up and what's up, Dave? I kind of like leaving it out. Because it seems grammatically ambiguous then. Demotivated is not a word. They suggest unmotivated. I'm adding this to my personal dictionary. Screw you, Google. Do I have the swear jar in my goals? Here's the resolutions. Resolution, product, swear less. Software identity, focus on mastery. Big systems. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Let me paste this into a blog post. And then I'm going to move to a coffee shop and just start making it. Seeing what photos I need to take. I guess I'll just bring stuff with me and take pictures there at the coffee shop. Just need to get out the freaking house. What was I doing? davidsay.com. Am I still showing the right screen? And blog. Oh wait, not there. I want to go to my back end. Just updates, posts. Ignore the updates. They break you out of everything. I guess I already need a title page. Let's see if I can find last year's Groundhog Day Resolution. Let's make a clone of it. And let's edit this. 2018 Resolutions Kickoff. Let's rewrite that slug. Let's delete all this stuff. Let's make it 2018 ID. Yeah. What happened? Where is it? Copy this into here. The outline. These dates had to be updated. What is Sunday? I really should make a bunch of compact calendars. Just pre-printed ones. I have a pack of them. No, thanks for... I was seeing Kidley's comment about the microphone just now. What day are all these things? Let me pull up a... I should make a compact calendar set. Calendar 2018. When was 1-1? What was that noise? Where do I... Looking at a calendar on my left screen here. January 1st was a Monday. Today is a Friday. Friday. March 3rd, what day is that? That's a Saturday. April 4th is a Wednesday. May 5th is a Saturday. June 6th is a Wednesday. July 7th is a Saturday. August 8 is a Wednesday. Well, Wednesday is appearing. Wednesday, Saturday is only one Friday. September 9 is a Sunday. October 10 is another Wednesday. A year of Wednesdays. Veterans Day. 11/11 is Sunday. And then December 12th, end of year review is surprise, it's Wednesday. And I need to update that text blocks thing. Let's save this draft. Let's go to my text blocks setup. This is where I have reusable bits of post snippets. And I thought, no, there's no cloning on this. Edit. Yeah, for some reason I thought this had cloning. So GHDR, add new, GHDR 2018. Slug should be the same. And then change stuff to what am I pursuing to start pithy synopsis here again on the challenge 2018 page. I need to make that page next. Publish page. Where is that page? Wow, that's weird. That's how come I can't see it? GHDR here. Let's clone this. This is the clone. 18. Oh, this is using the Swift page builder. Oh, that's not the slug I want. Save draft. Enable the Swift page builder. This is the 12th year. Did I never update that? 2018. You'd like to follow along me. You are all invited to join the retro core where I am every day. Save. Story so far. This is where I'm going to summarize everything. Okay, let's publish this. It's not on any pages yet. I should modify my menus now. Appearance, menus. And let's see. Into investigations, this goes to past challenges. These are going here. Oh, I guess I'll leave them. These are all technically active. So close that. This is now at least in place. I should get a different picture for this year though. Let me make sure I clear in the remove the featured image. Save the draft again. And I think that's it for now. How long have I been doing this? 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I have one more. It's probably going to take over an hour to write the blog post, but we'll see. Probably need to take a break. So let me assemble the list of things that I need to bring with me. Probably should bring these maps. Just to make a cool layout on the table. Stuff this in here. I do like this tube. This is I think this is for boats. There's actually a mounting bracket that came with this, so you can, like, I guess, store emergency charts and stuff in there. I just think it's cool. And we have these cards, and we have these things, and we have this notebook thing. I'm just going to bring this piece of paper with me. I really would actually like to make these types of notebooks for some of my own planning systems. It's pretty cool. It's an empty can. Let's put this in this notebook. Is my phone charged? Mostly. And this goes that. This goes here. I probably as well bring this with me too. And I am going to shift to Starbucks and do the actual writing of the blog post. Hopefully that'll be up before midnight tonight. But yeah, so there's the Groundhog Day Resolutions process, such as it is. And I hope you enjoy watching it, whoever tuned in for this. So another 2 hours, 45 minutes to come up with essentially a list of goals that seem to emerge from my review of the past years. And it's the same things. Oh, thank you very much. I'm kind of relieved that something did come out of that, because never know. I remember last year, or one of the years was like really terrible. I really could not. I was like completely demotivated. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and everything seemed like the same. And I was like, oh, why am I even bothering? But I'm feeling like I can see the overall pattern, I think, in what I've been doing, and it seems I'm finally converging once again. Although I say that every year, I think I finally got it. But this year, it feels that it has the weight of past experiences providing some affirmation that there is a pattern and there is a destination. Is there a destination? Maybe I should make a note of that. Is there a destination? I'm going to add that as a note to this. Is there that's the right one? A question. Is there a destination? Save. All right, I'm done now. I'm going to take a break, then I'm going to head to Starbucks and chill out there for a while, catch up on social mediaizing, contemplate things to eat, and we'll see what happens. So, thanks. Take care. Bye.